We're talking about the proxy pattern. So let's dig into it and see what this can do for you. Is a part of the Gang of Four design pattern. It's a structural pattern in between the three of them. It's a placeholder. So this one can be instead of something else. It uses the same public interface as the subject class. It has indirection, and also requests are passed to real subject. So if you're using the project, you also need a real subject. So I'll just be explaining you here a short example of how to use it. Let's see. Here you have the bank, all your money. You're stacked up in here, cash, gold. You go to make a payment. This payment you make in as shop. The shop requires something from you, the money. But how do you carry all that money around with you? Well, nobody really does that. And in this case, we're going to use a check. I know it's a little bit late or a little bit old, but let's just use this. It's a good example. So the check will be your proxy, and this proxy is instead of the real subject. So here we have the proxy class and we have the real class. The real class contains all the methods we need because we develop it to be real, but you don't want to carry around the real class. The real class is something you want to otherwise protect, or you just simply is making there's too much inconvenience of having the real class. So therefore you make this proxy, the check, to ease you from having to carry all this around, and you can just make the payment and the shop will accept this payment because it's a check. They know it's a check, so and they can recognize this as a check. So therefore you have the method. You also can withdraw money from the bank, and therefore this becomes the proxy class because it uses the same method. It has the same interface, so it will recognize this as a payment method, and therefore we have the proxy class in this way. So this is a very powerful tool to know of in many cases, and those I will get into now. So let's just check it here. First of all, it improves efficiency, and then it improves or enhances functionality. And here are the methods or the way of applying these proxy patterns according to the theoretical way of doing it. You can just use this as a catch proxy, and at this catch proxy, well, that's like you go on the website. You don't want to request all these server calculations. Perhaps is something that needs to calculate money for you. It needs to you have calculated a currency, and then you made it somewhere else. So instead of going to make the same calculations again, it perhaps remembers what you typed into it, or you have some other numbers, another variable in this, but the cache will remember this, so it will be cached, and they will be considered as a cache proxy. So to avoid to use the underlying objects and then save the power for other things. You can also use protection proxy, and this is a way of protecting the real subject in a secure way, or you use it in regards to security. You also have the remote proxy, you also have the smart proxy, and you also have the virtual proxy. And all these I'll be giving a link to, so check my description to see that, and stay tuned for more videos on this channel.